Alrighty everyone, welcome back. It is now the last day of July. Can you believe it, how fast time just flies by? It's crazy, but here we are as we approach August. There's a lot of things that Disney is beginning to brew behind the scenes, including the marketing approach for the Ahsoka Tano series, as well as making a decision on exactly what they want to do with the Marvels for that November release date window. There's a great possibility now that it will be delayed. There's a lot of conversations happening with that between IGER and the board, but on top of that, we also have a lot of things happening right now with the terrible critic reviews for the Haunted Mansion, which debuted on July 28th. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new and like this video to see future updates. I'm also on Twitter at Mike01. I thank you all so very much for the great and kind support, and let's get right into exactly what's going on here with Snow White 2024 and how this all concerns Bob Iger himself, the CEO of Disney, who, well, in my opinion, is the worst CEO of all time over at Disney. There's no doubt about this. Now, when we look at Iger, I always say this a lot of times, that he is a CEO that loves to lie. He lies through his teeth. He will say anything that he has to say to appear confident and to make others in the general public feel confident about Disney's direction with everything. The parks, the movies, the shows, merchandise, whatever it may be. And going into Snow White 2024, ever since those leaked photographs surfaced of the Seven Dwarfs weeks ago, things have been, well, let's just say, going quite downhill. And it's hitting rock bottom now, because they're going into so much damage control, there's a lot of problematic situations happening behind closed doors, etc. However, with the Snow White backlash getting worse every single day, Bob Iger and Disney have been going into full damage control. Now, behind the scenes, Bob Iger has been getting very furious with the backlash of Snow White and the disaster that they put themselves in, to the point that he is the one who initiated a plan to do re-edits of the whole film while also keeping the seven dwarfs that are not really dwarfs in this movie. With Iger already involved in other 3 emergency meetings for both the Marvels and Snow White, the emergency plan right now for Snow White proves that Bob Iger is losing his mind with this movie. The first major piece to this is that Iger is getting ready to make a big statement at D23, which, by the way, guys, takes place in September. And this concerns Snow White 24 as well, and why they made a huge change with the Seven Dwarfs. He is planning to go on record in an attempt to tame the backlash by giving out a full explanation why they are nothing like the original dwarves in the 1937 original. Iger is also already planning out reshoots, even though there are strikes going on, which makes no sense to many members of the board. However, this is their plan B. Iger is reportedly very panicky about Snow White, as he and everyone else at Disney are fully aware that this will indeed create a domino effect if it does end up becoming the worst film release in years, if not decades, for the attendees coming to the theme parks. And let me just stop here quick, guys, before I get to the next piece of this development, is that, yeah, it's true. If this movie is that big of a flop, if it really is universally rejected, and what I mean by that is where everybody just looks at it like a piece of garbage, right? Not just Snow White fans, not just Disney fans, or people that are just going to see this movie as a popcorn movie for the day that know nothing about Disney or Snow White or whatever. They're just going ahead and see this just to pass time. Even if they don't like it, that's when you know you're in big, big trouble. And if it's going to be that bad, it's going to give Disney a forever bad image. It's going to stick along with them for the years to come, and there's no way that they can dig themselves out of that problem. It's just a given fact. And I always said this, that The Little Mermaid was the beginning of the end. Elemental was the start of it all for 2023 for sure. But it really was all, happening before that in little breadcrumbs, right? But this year was like the major hit for Disney. I mean, you had Elemental, Little Mermaid, Galactic Star Cruiser Hotel shutting down this September. You had Indy 5, you have the Marvels, you got Snow White. I mean, that's 6 projects alone. And more. And Haunted Mansion is not doing well either, mind you, with the reviews at least. So, on top of this is where things get even worse for Bob Iger, alright? You ready for this? Because Bob Iger is digging himself an even bigger hole, I feel, by moving forward with this. Now, some board members have been suggesting to Iger in the last meeting to pull the plug on this film and to cancel it altogether. However, Iger got into a heated exchange with that proposal with the board member and absolutely refused to do that. Iger didn't want to fall into the fate of Warner Brothers, where they canceled the Batgirl movie altogether and left it in a vault somewhere. This film cost hundreds of millions of dollars, and Disney can't afford to lose that after what happened with Indy 5. Now, again, guys, about Batgirl, I mean, I do sympathize with Brendan Fraser for him reportedly playing an amazing role as Firefly in that movie, but nobody would have wanted to see this Batgirl movie, let's be honest. I mean, it was going to be pretty bad, let's just say that. Even Brendan Fraser kind of called it out before it got shut down, that, you know, this movie's not really going to be for everybody, but that he didn't really bash or anything. He just kind of called out a couple of things here and there. But I say Batgirl, this film. I mean, I think that's what really needs to happen. I know I've said this plenty of times, but that's absolutely what they need to do. Moving forward, Iger did suggest a plan C, surprisingly, for a solution such as delaying the film until June of 2024 without reshoots. Now, here's why this is so idiotic. However, they would be butting heads with Dead Reckoning Part 2 if they delayed that until June of next year, which was a suggestion provided by Iger in the recent meeting. Right now, they are all desperate to put out the flames with this movie, essentially. So, that just goes to show you how, you know, Bob Iger really knows nothing about competition, knows nothing about what he's facing or who he's going up against, to even think about delaying this movie until June of 2024 is ludicrous. You would be really competing against Dead Reckoning Part 2. That movie would destroy Snow White. Whether it's releasing before or after, it doesn't matter, it would wreck it. Because if you're within that month, you're give or take 2, maybe 3 weeks tops apart from each other, at max. You know, if you really want to plan it out. Now, sure, the writer's strike, I get it. It could very well shift. You know, Dead Reckoning could get pushed until July or August, because they still have like 1 or 2 major scenes to film. They're not quite finished with it just yet. But Tom Cruise did come forward and said that this movie, it's not delayed yet. We still have the exact release date. I believe it's June 28th, guys. I might be wrong about that. But I know it's late June, as far as I know. But there's no delay. They still have to film that, and yeah, so Disney would really shoot themselves in the foot regardless if they released it in June, if Dead Reckoning does not get delayed. So again, I mean, this just goes to show you that the fact that they have all these strategies mapped out and how Bob Iger is so stubborn that he doesn't want to shut the movie down, he doesn't want to swap the 7 Dwarfs. He even suggested about putting this movie head-to-head against Tom Cruise. It just goes to show you that Disney loves to lose money, in my opinion. It's almost coming across like they're doing this on purpose, which may sound crazy, but anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Fill me in below in the comments what you all have to say about this. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel, and I will catch you guys next time.